الرحيم نحمده ونصلي على رسوله الكريم أما بعد. Let's try this. Make a second try at this. First time went without any audio, so let's try it again. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. ولله جنود السماوات والأرض وكان الله عزيزا حكيما. صدق الله العظيم. Alhamdulillah, all praises to Allah, the one who possesses the armies of the heavens and the earth, the powerful, the wise. Allah's power is complete, just as His wisdom is complete. When He chooses, He shows His power. And behind the show of power, there is a wisdom. And when He chooses to conceal His power, then also behind that, there is a wisdom. Allah mentions, وَكَانَ اللَّهُ عَزِيزًا حَكِيمًا. He is powerful. He is wise. Because power without wisdom leads to tyranny. A person just keeps showing his power, that I am stronger than you. He does what he wants, but there's no sense to it. This person is a tyrant. And a person, he is very wise. He has great knowledge, understanding, wisdom, but he has no power to enforce it. He's a philosopher. He can't actually do anything with this wisdom. But Allah is Aziz and Hakima. He is powerful. He has power to do what He wants, and He has wisdom. So He uses His power when it is appropriate. He withholds His power when it is appropriate. And He possesses the armies of the heavens and the earth, whether it be armies of birds, armies of beasts, armies of locusts, armies of frogs, armies of viri, everything. Allah has armies of the heavens and the earth. And when He chooses to use them, then there is no one who can prevent Him. There is no one who can stop Him. Allah mentioned in Surah Fil how these an army with tanks of the time, with elephants, came to crush the Kaaba. Allah used birds in huge groups, طَيْرًا أَبَابِيلَ تَرْمِيهِمْ بِحِجَارَةٍ مِّن سِجِّيلٍ, throwing little stones, little pebbles made of clay upon them. فَجَعَلَهُمْ كَعَصْفٍ مَأْكُولٍ. And by this bombarding of these elephants with these little pebbles, by these little birds dropping little pebbles on these elephants, they became like chewed up husk of wheat. So Allah does what He wants. And Allah is not in need of anyone. He is not in need of any means to cause His decree to pass. And no one can stop the decree. No one can delay the decree of Allah. So in this month of Ramadan, which just passed, as we read, as we kept hearing, كُتِبَ عَلَيْكُمُ الصِّيَامُ كَمَا كُتِبَ عَلَى الَّذِينَ مِنْ قَبْلِكُمْ لَعَلَّكُمْ تَتَّقُونَ. That Allah has prescribed fasting upon you as it was prescribed upon those before you, so that you may attain taqwa. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He demands from us that we attain taqwa. And we heard some of the qualities of the people of taqwa. Now let us listen to some of the definitions, some of the explanations given by the scholars. Imam Ahmad bin Hanbal rahmatullah alayhi says, "At-taqwa hiya tarku ma tahwa lima takhsha." Taqwa is leaving that which you desire due to that which you fear. Leaving that which you desire. You want something, you desire it, but you leave it because of that which you fear. Ali ibn Abi Talib radiyallahu anhu, he mentions, هي الخوف من الجليل والعمل بالتنزيل والقناعة بالقليل والاستعداد ليوم الرحيل. Taqwa is fear of al-Jalil, of Allah. والعمل بالتنزيل, acting upon those commandments, that knowledge which Allah has sent down. وَالْقَنَاعَةُ بِالْقَلِيلِ, being content with little. وَالْإِسْتِعْدَادُ لِيَوْمِ الرَّحِيلِ, and preparation for the day when we will depart from this world. Others have mentioned, التقوى هي أن لا يراك الله حيث نهاك ولا يفقدك حيث أمرك. It is that Allah should never find you. He should never find you in those places, in those deeds from where He has forbade you. And He should not miss you. He should not be looking for you. He should not be missing you in those places, in those deeds where He has commanded you to be, that He has commanded you to perform. Another explanation given is هي علم القلب بقرب الرب. It is the knowledge of the heart of how to gain nearness to Allah. So now we ask ourselves, in this month of Ramadan, did we acquire taqwa? Did we acquire taqwa? We looked at some of these explanations. So how, where do we stand with respect to this taqwa which should have been in my life? Imam Ahmad bin Hanbal says that it is fearing or leaving that which you desire due to that which you fear. So have we actually left anything which we desire? Have we left those things which we desire? Have we left anything which we desire due to that which we fear? The anger of Allah, the fire of Jahannam. Have we left anything? If not, then it's time to really start. Have we developed the fear of Allah? Al-khawf min al-jalil. Did we develop any fear of Allah? Did we make the commandments of Allah the code of conduct of our life? Did we start bringing the ibadat into our life? Did we start bringing those akhlaq, the characters, our dealings with people? Have we brought that into our life? Have we become contented with less? This is one of the fringe benefits of this lockdown, that we are not able to go and to live this consumer lifestyle which we are normally used to. We go and we buy what we want, and we go where we want, and we do what we want. Now we're sitting at home. Have we become contented with minimal means, or are we still, as soon as the doors are open, now we're going to go and start consuming? And have we started preparing for the day of our departure from this world? Have we stopped frequenting those places and doing those things from which Allah has forbade us? Have we started showing up to perform and to do what Allah demands from us? Has salat become second nature to us? Are we doing more and more salat? Are we following the commandments of Allah more and more? Or was it just for this month that we are not allowed to go, and then once the month comes to an end, then it's unleashed, then we go wherever we want? We look at these different definitions, we gauge ourselves. Where do I stand with respect to this taqwa that I was supposed to attain? Have we gained that knowledge of the heart through which we can attain nearness to our Lord? Look, we hear about taqwa, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us that Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu ittaqullaha haqqa tuqatih. Fear Allah as He ought to be feared. وَلَا تَمُوتُنَّ إِلَّا وَأَنْتُمْ مُسْلِمُونَ. O you who believe, fear Allah as you ought to be feared, as He ought to be feared, as is right to be feared, and do not die except in the state of submission. So where do I stand? Have I attained taqwa? Look, the time Allah is telling us, do not die. Do not die except in a state where you have submitted to the will of Allah. Fear Allah as He ought to be feared. So our limit is death. And look, we just had this tragic plane crash in Pakistan. People got onto this PIA flight just shortly after takeoff. The flight crashed. How many? Over 100 people died in this plane crash. So before death comes, we have to attain taqwa into our lives. And what we have to understand is death is a stage from the stages of a person's existence. We will have to pass through this stage. Kullu nafsin dha'iqatul maut. Everyone will leave this world. Everyone will taste of death. It's unavoidable. We will taste of death. And just as we grieve, we grieve when a guest leaves our house. Then we feel, the house feels hollow, it feels empty. But the reality is, before the person came, while he was there, we knew that his departure was inevitable. It was imminent. There was a time that would come where he would have to leave the house. And all the good times, we knew they would come to an end. In the same way as we grieved when the month of Ramadan left. We felt sad. Even the children, these days they were standing up for Taraweeh, and they would get tired. But, the environment was there. There was a spirit. There was an energy in the air, and they felt it, they enjoyed it, they loved it. So when Ramadan has passed, and after iftar, say, aren't we getting up for Taraweeh? Aren't we getting up to pray Taraweeh? We say, no, last Taraweeh was last night. They feel sad. We all knew the time would come when Shawwal would come around, when Ramadan would come to its end. So in the same way, exactly in the same way, when a person leaves the world, we feel grieved. We feel bad. We feel terribly grieved at it. But it was a reality with which we had to come to terms, and which we have to realize would come to pass. Death is a part of our existence. So, concerning those who have left this world, specifically, you know, about our brothers and sisters in Pakistan, but this is general to anyone who has left the world, whether it be our brothers and sisters here who are dying of COVID, or whether our brothers and sisters in Pakistan who died because of the plane crash, or brothers and sisters who are dying and who are being tortured and who are being oppressed in other parts of the world. Whenever a person dies, it's natural. And we first and foremost, we should make dua that Allah make their path, make the rest of their journey easy. Their whatever they have done in this world, it has come to an end. Now, amongst the things which we can do for them is to make dua. May Allah forgive them. May Allah elevate their statuses. May Allah give them entry into Jannatul Firdaus without any reckoning. May Allah make the remaining of their journey easy. May Allah give sabr to their families that they have left behind. So it is natural to grieve. Even Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam, on the passing of his son Ibrahim radiallahu anhu, who died in his infancy, Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam was shedding tears. Abdurrahman ibn Auf radiallahu anhu, he looks at him and he says, "O Rasulullah, what is this? O you, O Rasulullah, you are crying? How come? You are the messenger of Allah." He said, "This is a rahmah, this is a mercy that Allah puts into the hearts of his slaves. That you have love, that you have mercy, you feel bad that someone has passed away, this is natural." Even the Prophet of Allah sallallahu alayhi wasallam, who knew that everyone's time is appointed, his heart ached at the loss of his son, but he knew that this was a reality that could not have been avoided. So it is natural to feel grief, to feel sorry. But the reality is, for those people who have left this world, their test has come to an end. They were going through a test, and their test has come to an end, whatever the condition may have been. And, each and every one of them, they set out with an intention, meaning that when they got onto that flight, they came out with an intention that I'm coming home. They probably came out with the intention to meet their wives, their children, their parents. They wanted to meet them for Eid. They wanted to celebrate with them. Allah knew very well that they would not make it home. Allah knew it very well. So, my respected friends, this life is a test, and no one knows when it comes to an end. Now, whether we are prepared or not, the exam paper will be snatched away. The exam paper will be snatched away, and the exam will come to an abrupt halt. This will be the reality of life. This will be the reality of the end of our lives. That we will wish that we had more time. We will wish. Lucky are those people who get a warning that you have a couple of months to live. It sounds bad, but a person, he comes to terms that now I only have 15 minutes on my exam. So when a person finds out that he only has 15 minutes in his exam, what does he do? He starts scrambling and he starts writing as much as he can because he knows that it's coming to an end. So in the same way, normally a person, when he leaves this world, he does not go with a warning. He will not know when his time of death is coming, whether it's an old age or young age. And the exam paper will be snatched from him, and his exam will abruptly come to an end. So these people, their exam has come to an end. Now what we can do is we can make dua for them, we can send, Isal al-Thawab for them, and inshallah we'll get into that. But what we really have to focus on is that our exam is ongoing. Our exam is ongoing right now, and our time will also come to an end shortly. And Allah is showing us these examples in front of us. That there are people dying of COVID. There are people who are dying who just died of a plane crash. There are people who are dying of car crashes. People who are, people who have diseases. They have cancer. They have other terminal diseases, and they think that, oh, I only have 5 years to live. But a car crash comes, they pass away much sooner than that. They themselves, they had figured that their cause of death would be cancer, or so on, or so forth. But Allah made it such that their life came to an end because of some other reason. So our exam is ongoing right now. Our exam is ongoing right now. Now is the time to be filling in our paper, to do more and more good deeds. So what do we have to do to prepare ourselves? We have to bring taqwa into our lives. And as Allah mentions in the beginning of Surah Baqarah, He mentions the qualities of the people of taqwa. They believe in the unseen. They establish salah. They spend for the sake of Allah. They have a realization that the previous prophets has also been sent with the truth. They have a conviction in the akhirah. So we have to perform such deeds which will be a means of bringing us nearer to Allah, and which will be a means of ongoing benefits for us, which will be a sadaqah jariyah, so that when our exam is taken from us, we still do have some residual good deeds which are coming into our account. So amongst them, the living should be making a dua for the deceased, as this is a type of sadaqah jariyah. And alhamdulillah, we made a bit of dua, but we should keep on remembering the deceased of the Muslims. We should keep on making dua for them. So amongst the things which we have to do, we have to pay a special attention to enjoining good and forbidding evil. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam in one hadith mentions that an army will come to invade the Kaaba, and when they reach a desert in the land, they will be swallowed by the earth, from the first to the last. Aisha radiallahu anha, who was with him at the time, asked it, how will they be swallowed? How will all of them be swallowed when there are merchants and there are those who are not part of the army who are traveling with them? Because at that time, a group would travel, and when a group would be traveling, or when a group will be traveling, then people will come along with them to have safety in numbers. So these other people join up with them, to be safe in numbers. But because the predominant part of this army is going with an evil intent, they will be swallowed from the first of them to the last of them, but then they will be raised according to their intentions. In this world, they will all be, whoever was in one area, they will be dealt with the same. But then, on the day of judgment, they will be separated. So, we have to come to an understanding that when the disobedience of Allah becomes predominant, it becomes widespread, then whoever is around, wherever this disobedience is taking place, whatever afflictions are to come on the people who are in the disobedience of Allah, those who are in their vicinity will also be affected by the afflictions, whatever it may be. They will not be spared. So just because I feel like I am pious, I'm not really pious, I'm trying to get there. But if a person thinks I am pious, I will be saved. No, it's not like that. Unless you have, when this evil is predominant, when disobedience of Allah is predominant in a society, and a person is content with his own piety, then he will be included with them. Yes, later on, down the line, of course, Allah will do final justice, but down the line, in this world, he will suffer the same fate as them. So we have to understand this. So all are punished when the disobedience of Allah becomes widespread. So first and foremost, we have to bring taqwa into our lives. We have to guard ourselves. We have to bring the pure piety, fear of Allah into ourselves. And we cannot be complacent that we are on the obedience of Allah. Rather, we have to look at the direction of the broader community. What is happening? How can I be a positive change to the community? How can I bring the community in a direction which is pleasing to Allah? We have to make an effort on others. And this is on every aspect of deen. This is not just with ibadah. This is also, this is with ibadah, yes. With our character, with our dealings with people, how are we treating our neighbors? If I am not treating my neighbor properly, This is something which brings the anger of Allah, because the neighbors have a right on us. Not treating my relatives properly, yes, this brings the anger of Allah, because my relatives have a right on me. So whoever has a right on me, this is part of our deen, that we treat them properly. So our ibadat, our dealings with people, our business dealings, all of this has to, we have to make an effort that this becomes corrected. So what we need to do, we need to set up an account which will remain open even after we die. And several things have been mentioned in hadith. Building a well, where people do not have access to water. A person, he builds the well, he gives them easy access to water. This is a cause of the pleasure of Allah. Whoever drinks from this well, they benefit from it. Their thirst is quenched. The person who built the well, he will get the reward of it. Raising pious children who will make a dua for him. This is a great thing, that a person, he takes care of his children. He raises them properly, so that when he leaves this world, they remember him. They think fondly of their father, of their mother. Say, Ya Allah, my father, he taught me well. Ya Allah, bless him, guide him. Ya Allah, give him entry into Jannah al-Firdaus, so on. They'll make a dua from the heart for their father, for their mother. Establishing a masjid, teaching beneficial knowledge. All of these things are from the sadaqah jariyah. So my respected friends, amongst the most important things that we need to do today, other than working on ourselves, we can never lose track of me, that I myself have to gain. Nearness to Allah, I have to gain taqwa. But the thing is, me working on myself is not mutually exclusive, that if I do that, then I can't work on anyone else. There's 24 hours in a day. You could do a lot of stuff in 24 hours. So we work on ourselves first and foremost. But while we're at it, work upon the community. We work to establish taqwa into the lives of the people. Because when the disobedience of Allah becomes widespread, then He will bring His order to pass. And Allah is Azizan Hakima. Wa kana Allahu Azizan Hakima. And when Allah will bring His order to pass, He will do it however He wills, whether it be through frogs, bedbugs, locusts, virus. However Allah chooses to bring His order to pass, He will bring it to pass. And if we are just concerned about ourselves, then we will also be afflicted by these hardships. So may Allah give us the tawfiq, first and foremost, to fear Him, as is His right to be feared. And may Allah give us tawfiq to make an effort. And, may Allah teach us the lessons which He demands from us, through this COVID-19, through these different situations in which we find ourselves. Certainly Allah has a plan. Certainly Allah wants us to change our qualities. Allah wants us to learn something. So may Allah open up what it is that we have to learn. Open it up to us so that we can bring it into our lives practically. We can improve ourselves as human beings, as slaves of Allah. Bring our life into a manner which is pleasing to Him. And may Allah give us the tawfiq, all to meet on the Day of Judgment under the arsh of Allah, in the gardens of paradise, which He has in place for those who live their lives in the manner which is befitting and which is pleasing to Him. Allah give us all tawfiq. Wa akhiru da'wana alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen. Subhanallahi wa bihamdihi, subhanakallahumma wa bihamdik, ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta, nastaghfiruka wa natubu ilayk. Subhana rabbika rabbil izzati amma yasifun, wa salamun ala al-mursalin, walhamdulillahi rabbil alameen. And to our listeners, Eid Mubarak. May Allah bless you. May Allah bless your families. May Allah keep you all safe. May Allah, for those of our listeners or of our members of the community who are sick, with COVID or with anything else, may Allah give them complete shifa. May Allah cure them. May Allah give ease to the family. May Allah comfort the family during this time of distress. And have a safe Eid. Be mindful of all the safety regulations which are in place for us. So remain safe and keep the community safe as well. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.